Today I'm going to show you how to make some really cute earrings using UV resin and metal bezels and some of these really cute forget-me-not flowers. So first I'm going to go ahead and pour the UV resin into the first half of the bezel. And then I'm going to use my toothpick to move that to the edges. It's important to only fill it halfway to start with, and to very gently move this around so you're not getting it on the outside of the bezel. I've already placed the bezels on some UV resin tape so this won't leak on the bottom, and you want to press your bezel down really firmly so it sticks to the tape well so you won't leak. And then the lighter will help pop the bubbles that's in it. And for my base, I'm going to mix some of this white glitter into the base of the resin, and this will give a background to these earrings. And I'm only going to do this to the first pair. And I'm very gently making it to where it's all around the bezel. And I'll do that to both sides of the earring. This will add a really nice shine to this pair, but I'm not going to do it to the next pair. It will be a different way. You could pour your resin into a cup and mix your glitter in that way, but then you're going to be wasting some of your resin. And there's no reason to do that since it's already in a pour spout bottle. This is just the best way that I've found to do it. So now we're going to add our forget-me-nots right on top before we cure the resin. And I found this, it's a really small container of forget-me-nots, but there's a lot of them in it. I found that on Amazon. I will link that in my description along with any of the other things I use in this video. And once I've placed them and they seem even, I will use the UV resin light for 1 minute, and then I'm going to pour more UV resin on top, slightly overfilled to make a doming effect, but not too much or you'll run over your edges and make a mess. As you do more and more of these, you will learn how to do it without overfilling it. And once you get more practice, you'll do great. I'm going to use my toothpick to gently, very gently push it towards the edges, being careful to not overflow it. If you don't and you cure it, you'll have a gap and that'll ruin your earring. So very carefully do this to make sure it's on all the edges, and then cure it for 1 more minute after you've used your lighter to pop the bubbles. And the reason I'm only doing it 1 minute at a time is because we're doing 2 pairs of earrings, and it'll continue to cure as I do this other side. So again, pour your resin till it's half full in your bezels. We're going to do this pair slightly differently than the first. Use our toothpick the same way to move the resin to the edges. And sometimes you have to run your toothpick under to bring the bubbles to the top, like I am right now, before the lighter will pop them. If it's too deep, the lighter's not going to reach your bubbles, so bring them to the top first. So I'm going to use some gold foil flakes for this earring, and just gently tear those, and I'm going to add them on each side of the bezel and tear it into a little bit smaller pieces. And sometimes it doesn't quite want to tear correctly. And I think out of the 2 pairs, the one with the gold foil is my favorite. Tell me in the comments which pair you like the best. But I'm going to make some more of each type of these and add them to my shop I sell at a craft mall. It's a craft antique mall in my booth. So I'm going to make some more of these and add them because I like how they turned out. So once that is on each side, you can go ahead and add your flowers. I think these forget-me-nots are so pretty, and they're so small you can add them in your stud earrings too, which I plan on making another video because I have so many of these flowers on how to make them into stud earrings and different ways to do that. So be on the lookout for that video coming soon. And I wanted to just make sure that that had all the side petals to it. I wanted to put a complete flower in there. And I don't really want it to touch the gold foil. Then once that is complete, do it for another minute and then add your UV resin clear on top to make a doming effect. Being careful to not overfill it. Use your toothpick to get it to the edges. And I don't know if you can tell, but I'm really, really gently moving that resin. Don't do it fast or hard. And then once you've got that on the edges, go ahead and put the UV resin light on for about 3 minutes. Now that you're completely done with the resin pouring. And then once you do 3 minutes, you're going to actually take it off the tape, flip it upside down, and you're going to do another 2 to 3 minutes on the back side as well to make sure it's cured through the back side. I like to do that just to make sure it's extra safe and extra done. So I'm going to lay these on their front side so we can cure the back side. The tape will get stuck to your gloves, so I like to flip. When I put my UV resin tape on, I like to put paper on each side of it to make it easier to handle, and I fold it down on the tape to make it easier to pull off too. So now you're going to cure that for another 2 to 3 minutes on the back side. And then once that's cured, I sometimes notice there's some green left from the actual tape that was left on it and it gets sticky. So I use some rubbing alcohol, just cheap rubbing alcohol. I pour it in the cap and I use a Q-tip to scrub off that tape on the back side there and get it cleaned up so it's not sticky from the tape anymore. And just scrub all around, even on the metal. It'll get on the metal too, so scrub it really good. And then your earring will be done except for the earring hardware that we're going to add. And sometimes it's pretty stubborn and doesn't want to come off, so you just need to rub a little harder. And I like both earrings, but my favorite definitely is the one with the gold foil. Let me know what you think. And for this one, I didn't speed up the video at all, so you can see in real time how long it's taking to make them. It doesn't take that long at all to make these earrings, and you could do a bunch at a time. I just suggest not pouring too much resin in your bezels at a time, or they'll start leaking at the bottom even if you've pressed them down really hard. So, you can put a whole bunch on the tape, just do a couple at a time, and then when you're done, you can cure them all at once, is how I would do it. So here's the jump ring. We're going to add it, and then your earring hook. And I like to use 2 pliers to close the jump ring. It makes it a lot easier, especially if you're doing a lot at once. You're not going to hurt your fingers. Make sure that's nice and even and close it up so it doesn't fall off. And then you have a beautiful earring that really didn't take that long to make. Again, just putting that jump ring on, and then your earring hook on, and closing it up. And if you're a beginner, don't worry, you'll get really good at this, and once you do a lot of them, you'll get really fast and you could get a lot done at once as well. So here's the earring cards I use. I like them because they're plain and simple. I use them to sell them in my booth. You just place them on there, and I use rubber backs. They're just a clear rubber back, and just put those on there so they don't fall off. And then all that's left for you to do is to price your earring and then hang it in your booth or wherever you sell it. I love how those turned out. I think I might make a pair for myself too. And here's the next one. This is the one with the glitter background. And then you'll do the same thing. You'll put your rubber backs on. I like that these have some shine to them. That makes them pretty. And I've noticed that in my booth in particular, some of the ones that are my favorite don't necessarily sell as fast as some of the ones that I didn't. Like the glitter ones may sell way faster than my gold foil ones. I never know. But I like the gold foil ones. So here's the finished product. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I have a ton more videos on my channel. Have a blessed day.